Many expressed fears that their votes were not being counted.
They literally are trying to steal this from us.
Right now they're kneeling in prayer, but one of the things that we've seen is them chanting very loudly, count that vote, and then we've got poll workers that are coming off of shift, and the poll workers have to be escorted out by armed sheriff's deputies down those stairs and into vans and taken away from here.
The 2020 election was a mess in Arizona. And someone who knows this all too well is the man on stage in the white shirt, Stephen Richer, the Republican Maricopa County recorder in Arizona, running for re-election later this year. Richer oversees the voter registration and mail-in voting processes for more than 2 million people. And we're about to see why the Republican voters in attendance are calling for his head.
There are many who believe the 2020 election was stolen. Do you believe that? Do you believe that, and what will you do to ensure future elections are safe, secure, and accurately reflect the votes of the people who are legitimate registered voters?
I do not believe the 2020 election was stolen, and
And there it is. The Boo Birds immediately came out in full force as soon as they heard one of their own accept reality and admit the truth about the 2020 election. Richard took office in January 2021 and had nothing to do with tabulating the results of the 2020 election, and even replaced the Democrat who previously held the position.
Stop indulging this. Stop giving space for lies. We found out about this latest accusation through the Arizona Senate's audit's Twitter account, which is anonymously run, just accusing me and my staff of unlawfully deleting evidence. That's not appropriate. And I called the Senate president and I said, do you really want to accuse me of unlawfully deleting evidence for an election that, by the way, I didn't even run because I took office in January?
This was Richard's reaction to Trump accusing him of deleting the entire county voter database in the spring of 2021, which clearly did not happen because Richard was looking at the database when Trump sent out that tweet. But this is the power of Trump's rhetoric and the true danger that his lies pose to anyone who speaks out and counters with the truth. Which brings us to Ms. Shelby Bush, a high-ranking Maricopa County Republican committee member.
But if Stephen Richer walked in this room, I would lynch him. I don't unify with people who don't believe in the principles we believe in and the American cause that founded this country.
Bush has clearly been to Trump's school of fraud. In fact, she likely graduated with honors. We know this because she could have used any other word, but she chose lynching to express how she feels about Richer and his flavor of conservative politics. It's par for the course with MAGA loyalists, a dog whistle to racists who love to flip the script on history, ignore lasting Black trauma while co-opting it for their own sick lies.
We can work with that, right? That's unity. That's saying, hey, we're going to shake hands and we're going to agree that we're going to run a good Christian foundation campaign and we're going to treat each other well and we're going to get through this together, right? That's unity.
We should also mention the hypocrisy of Bush talking about lynching Richer mere moments after talking about good Christian values and unity. It's very telling about Bush's real moral compass. Oh, and don't forget the veiled anti-Semitism coming from Bush, since Richer happens to be Jewish. But this is just another day in Arizona for MAGA world.
Trump allegedly called former Republican Governor Doug Ducey to speak about the more than 10,000 votes he lost by, insisting if the state found enough voter fraud, it could swing the election in his favor. Pence reportedly called Ducey multiple times following the election, but did not follow Trump's orders. And when no fraud was found, the pressure from Trump continued. That hail to the chief ringtone was Trump again calling Ducey as Ducey was certifying the state's election in front of cameras. Ducey muting the call.
More than a month after Election Day, several Republicans convened in this room and they signed a certificate of a slate of electors to go and potentially be counted on January 6th of 2021. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays has indicted them for fraud as well as a conspiracy, as well as, I'm looking at it right now here, forgery. making the case that these individuals sent this what they're calling an alternate slate of electors to be counted to with the intention of making Donald Trump the president of the United States.
Richard's resume, being a Federalist Society member and a career conservative activist, aligns perfectly with 90% of what the MAGA election-denying crowd demands. However, do you see how easy it is for him to fall out of favor anyway? Because it's not about a movement. Instead, it's about blind 100% loyalty to their dear leader. His refusal to dedicate all loyalty to Trump immediately makes him an instant enemy and target. The Republican Party has increasingly been moving in this direction since 2016. The transformation, I say, is long complete, and it seems there is no turning back.